Ladies and gents, hello and welcome to the Legend of Phosphoru, a player that might ring a bell for you if you've been watching recent videos, but if you haven't seen videos of this player, basically this player is terrorizing high ranks by going fast castle and all in on Arabia. Arabia, you typically see scouts and archers and all these feudal age builds because the map is very open and there's lots of spaces to expand to. And the idea is to make lots of different units and lots of variety and lots of transitions. And Phosphoru doesn't care about that. Now, in the third episode of the Legend of Pudding, I actually focused on Phosphoru. And Phosphoru was inspired by Pudding and made the Pudding, quote unquote, or made the Pudding strategy better. The Pudding strategy, a strategy surrounding infantry and lots of aggression with infantry into just more infantry, okay? Watch it. Trust me, it is kind of some interesting perspective. Now, what I didn't know is I didn't know that Phosphoru was like kind of doing all-in strats before seeing the Pudding video. I spoke to Phosphoru, and Phosphoru was like, I was inspired by Pudding, and I tried this, but later, I made a video, and this player is evolving already. Again, I'm sorry all these videos linked together, but it's a story, right? And whether or not you watch that doesn't matter. That was where Pudding went Romans and went fast castle into Scorpions, okay? Now, I then did some research. Pudding said, hey, actually, Phosphoru did that first. And it's like kind of this cool story where these guys are talking back and forth on their strats. Now, this is just literally I got a message a couple hours ago. Phosphoru reached out to me. It was like, I've got a new one. All right. Just like out of the blue, I've got a new one. Okay. And the second I saw what the civilization was, I knew. Okay. I knew because I've been talking about the unit that's going to be in question ever since the civilization Bohemians was introduced. Okay. I'm going to tease you a little bit. We're going to speed up. I'll show you the unit here in a second. And I always felt like the unit was really strong. And then there was some narrative that kind of started with like some pros, I guess, because pros typically play like knights, spearmen, monks, archers. That the Hussite wagon, this chunky thing up here that I call a food truck, you'll see why, that was useless. And, I made videos and I was like, actually, if you get the timings right, it's really hard to counter it because you can't convert it unless you get redemption, which takes time, and obviously you need to be in Castle Age. I'm speeding up here if you don't mind, because I'm going to show you multiple games of this guy. It's crazy. And then, Siege does have a bonus against the wagon, but it's not like a crazy amount of damage and a crazy amount of bonus damage. And there's something the devs changed with the wagon, which I'll talk about here in a second. So anyways, I always kind of felt like low-key, the wagon was strong. In fact, Titans League, guys, Titans League. Maybe Hardy could quickly just edit in like a little clip of Viper running underneath TCs and everything with this wagon the other day. Like, just crazy instances. Sorry, this has been very erratic and very all over the place. I hope you understand. I just simply want to show you the content now, and we're going to enjoy this. Now, I feel bad for Greed, guys. Another side story. Greed messaged me. He was in one of the videos with Pudding, and he was like, bro, why'd you upload that? Like he kind of sent me a message because I've known the guys for years. And then I loaded up the rec, and the first rec I downloaded was this one. So sorry, Greed. Greed's going for a feudal age strat. Unbeknownst to him, he is about to be Phosphoru. What is Phosphoru doing? Phosphoru hasn't left his base. Okay. Couple of villagers on wood, tons of villagers on stone. Now, the Bohemians get the mining upgrades for free in each age. But basically, the strat here, you could go up to Castle Age quite quickly for two reasons. The first reason is that you're going to use the market a lot. But the second part of what makes this strong is the Bohemian blacksmith is actually really cheap. So you save 100 wood on this blacksmith, which means you don't need as many villagers on wood. Now, Phosphoru already has this down to a bit of a science, and like all-in builds, is happy to be behind in villagers. That's something that players are very unhappy with, usually, at a high level. 1 minute of TC idle time, that could have been 2 villagers produced, but Phosphoru needs the food. So White Phosphoru's taking time. Now, here comes Greed. Unfortunately for Greed, the pressure could have come in faster here. Didn't know where the opponent was because Greed was, well, imagine that, greedy at home. But actually, you know, getting some good blocking here, and this is a sign of what Greed's capable of. And doink, villager dead. Greed gets a kill. But, like, all Greed's seen is the house, and now the mill's been deleted, and now he sees the market. And he's probably like, huh? With Bohemians? And then he probably sees this, and he's probably like, huh? On Arabia? So, yeah, like, this is just... It's just bonkers. So, no villagers on gold, all right? There are villagers on a lumber camp, and they're being walled in. But, like, the majority of villas are here on the stragglers. No villagers on food. 5 villagers behind already. Greed is going to follow this up with archers. And Greed's archers are actually going to kill White Phosphoru's scout. Now, Greed, he knows something crazy's coming, right? Like, he recognizes this is an all-in. And against the all-ins, against the YOLO plays, you need to do as much damage as quickly as possible. So Greed is going to say, villagers forward now. Bring the archers forward. Let's go to town. And essentially try and stop this. Because, you know, if you get the archers here, these villagers die. If you get the archers here, these villagers could die. That's the point. But this is a very fast castle. And it is a risky map to fast castle on. We already saw a villager go down for White Phosphoru. Knows where the opponent is, obviously. And, yeah, clearly saving up for a castle. And is going to drop a castle here in a moment. And things are going to get a little crazy, my friends. Okay? So buckle up. I know you're probably, like, sitting on a couch or in bed about to fall asleep. Because people do that. Or, I don't know. I don't know your situation, and I don't need to know. In fact, I really don't want to know. But find a seatbelt and buckle up. Because it's about to get crazy. All right, here we go. All the villagers for red. Every single one going to drop that castle. And again, Greed's probably like, huh? Well, Greed sees this. And Greed's archers are attacking the villagers. And Greed has correctly determined, oh, my tower won't do anything, actually. Let's get out of here. It actually hops in this tower. And has killed an additional villager already. And now it's going to run away because senses the castles go up. Doesn't want to lose these villas. Doesn't want to lose these archers. Okay, that's good. Now, I actually showed it was the one game from Greed where he was against the Roman strat from Pudding, and he tried to go feudal age all in. Because that's normally what you do. Like, a lot of people are going to say, against an all-in castle age type thing, you stay in feudal with the better economy, and you just make more units. Even if it's worse units, you make more units. What can beat this in feudal age? 180 HP, 11 base attack, 7 pierce armor. So you do one damage with archers, right? And melee armor, I guess, isn't that great? 180 HP. That is a chunky boy right there. Food truck rolling into town. And this is what I love about Red. Like, Red knows I need to pressure. And all you need for this unit is wood and gold. And Bohemians get the feudal age and castle age gold mining upgrades for free. Fun little balance history fact, by the way. The Malians, when they were introduced, they got the first gold mining upgrade for free. Just the first one, not the second one. Years later, Bohemians were introduced. The devs yanked that bonus away from Malians. Gave the Bohemians the feudal age and the castle age gold mining upgrades for free. So you see a lot of all-in strategies with the Bohemians because of all the gold income you can get very early on. Underneath the TC basically fully garrisoned. Food truck doesn't care. Meanwhile, over here, Greed trying to get some damage. White Phosphoru does have the other Hussite wagon waiting to kill these units. Greed panicked, I'm sure, but has made some scouts, is making another stable. It has 35 villagers versus 17. Technically worth it to chase this down with the scouts and with the villagers. Now, scouts actually not doing too bad, I guess. Actually, scouts are pretty good. I guess no melee armor, right? No villagers being produced for Red. Red doesn't care. Red just going to mass these wagons. Now, what the devs did, and I think it's because they probably didn't realize the all-in potential, is they increased the accuracy of this unit. So it used to be like really chunky and really strong, and you could still have the timings in these attacks, but the accuracy sucked. So like right there, the shot that Red just took from this, you weren't hitting that all the time. And I could definitely see why, that's why people were like, this unit's weird, right? But, you know, that was the situation with it, is that was the change now. He's got greater accuracy. And, you know, Scout and Villagers fighting his back, but, like, you're in Feudal Age, right? You're in Feudal Age, and I think, like, maybe Greed needed to have stone walls up earlier, but Greed's going to still try and fight this back with whatever Greed has here. Greed's going to just click the army home in a panic, and, you know, these wagons, some of them have died, and they do look really satisfying when they go down, but they're very, 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 very hard to kill. Greed is blocking with the Scouts right now. Very interesting strategy. And Greed's Villagers, maybe he's in a fit of rage at the moment, just trying to fight against Hussite wagons. And, I mean, listen, I don't think you need me to tell you. Probably not the best if you want your Villagers to survive. And you kind of need Villagers in Age of Empires too. In this case, you need 17 Villagers if you're red. And you just need the Villagers here, and need the Villagers here, and that's it. And you don't really look anywhere else. You just make wagons. Greed is just had like a, okay, settle down type moment. 33 Villagers. Tower here, tower here. There's another stable. Farming eco's in the back. Gold eco's in the back. Stone eco's in the back. We go towers against this. We have the TC here. Here we go. All right, so guys, fun fact coming in live for you. I asked White Phosphoru. I said, we've been talking, and I just said, what inspired you to try this strategy? So listen to this. He goes, when everyone was playing against my fast... He said, everyone I was playing against was going fast castle monks versus my Sicilian strat. I knew it was time to find something new. So I've been practicing builds a lot in single player. Thought this might have been a good unique unit because it seemed great in those hideout games in Titans League. That was the game I had Hardy edit in earlier. It's all coming together. Live. Well, not really live. This happened a couple hours ago. But the guy's been doing this all freaking day. I can't wait to show you more. I am, however, going to slightly speed up through this. Because poor Greed is just... I mean, he's killing the wagons. But I'm not seeing a legitimate way he comes back. Like, he's not making army right now, which is kind of the concern. And the wagons just stroll underneath the TC. And the wagons just stroll underneath the TC. And Greed has lost 18 villagers. Still has more villagers because his opponent isn't making any. But there's just still more wagons on the way. Villagers doing a remarkably good job, though, I have to say. And the wagons continue to roll around. I was thinking maybe you produce more scouts in this situation. And with all that food. Greed seems to think that, you know, maybe the villagers, they've lost so many of their friends to this thing. Maybe they're upset about it. He did research wheelbarrow. It almost felt like Greed researched wheelbarrow with the intention of his villagers being faster. But, you know, what makes this strong, right, is the timing of it. Okay? So how quickly you get them, and then also the fact that the units can just roll right through TCs. And do pretty decent damage against everything. 11 base attack. Now, double tower, TC, villagers fighting occasionally. I mean, Red's tossing wagons away left and right here. But I think we know the direction this game is going. Red's just going to continue this cycle forever. Maybe until he runs out of gold over here. But, you know, I've got other games to show you. It's just really funny, man, to see. Because people know this guy now. It's like, when they face him the first time, it always gets them. But then people, when they know the name, they're a little uncertain. When they know the name, they start to scheme up ideas, which is really what's fun. And that's why I want to show you a couple other games here. But, you know, this is... I think, like, Greed's thinking Castle Age here. And Greed still has more vills. Greed just wants to click up to Castle Age. But now the wagons are just going to go past the TC, right? I mean, if he clicked up the castle, if he could then make some siege, maybe it would be possible there. I don't know, man. But, you know, the villagers, as strong as they are against these food trucks, they're actually much stronger than I thought. And I'm learning about this as well, right? I had yet to see anyone use villagers to fight these things. Greed is at 21 population. Greed barely has any villagers working. Red's always going to have more of these things going forward. And, well, Greed is in a really, really, really poor position. And we expected this. we've got more games to show you. So Greed, he's going to have to just accept that he has been white phosphorued and tap out here at some point. Still, impressive job from the villagers. I think everyone should say well done, villagers, with no additional context in the comments. Because seriously impressive stuff. 32 units dead for red. 1 was a villager. No, 3 was a villager. 1 was a scout. The rest were all wagons. I mean, it's a pretty decent ratio. 45 villagers had to die to accomplish that. But, yeah, Greed possibly on tilt, possibly frustrated at the moment. Greed, resign here, buddy. Resign. I'm so sorry. I feel bad that you've been in both these videos. I love you, bro. You're a great player, okay? Now, guys, I got to tell you this. Greed played against him immediately after this. Immediately after this. He knew the strat. He went super fast man-at-arm tower and just destroyed White Phosphoru. Took him off stone, killed 6 vills, game was over. It was messy, it was over. So Greed found out next time, oh crap, he's doing that? All right, this is my strat against it. Planned against it, beat it. And obviously, we're going to show you some of the other things that White Phosphoru has been doing. Could possibly squeeze it in another time. All right, friends, so I have 2 more games to show you. And I think the key with any of this type of strategy is I got to show you variety of approach, okay? So what we saw there from Greed, I felt like it wasn't like totally indicative of what can happen for a proper feudal age build because it lacked a lot of timing because Greed was so late to finding his opponent, all right? Now, this is funny. White Phosphoru force picks. So goes Bohemians. I guarantee you, I didn't do the homework here. Maybe we could get a record up at some point, but I guarantee you, if Abu picked Sicilians, Abu knew this guy. See, there's a site, if you're 2K plus, it shows who you're up against. It tracks the 2K plus scene. I think in this case, it helped Abu. He said, I picked Sicilians. Or maybe he's just used to the other guy being online at this time. I don't know much about Abu, but Abu stealing this Rhino is 100%. Because he knows his opponent is going to do some wacky fast castle. 100. So now Red is down 400 food. I don't even know if Red knows that, to be completely honest with you. I did see another game. Actually, it was the game that I mentioned that Greed beat him. Greed tried to lame him as well. Yeah, players will try and slow it down, right? They'll try and mess you up a little bit. But my thought is that like maybe Abu thought it's White Phosphoru, so he's going to do the Sicilian crap. And he probably saw Bohemians and was a little bit confused on the other side. So we'll see how White Phosphoru adapts to this. Are you guys interested in this? I hope you're interested in this whole thing, and I hope you're okay with the little speed up here. I just think, we know exactly what his build is. I will slow it down at the crucial times. I think this is much better if I'm showing you guys multiple games. Thank you if you are interested, by the way, because this is some fun right now. Like this is up there for me. Some of the happier moments as a content creator. Watching players figure out new strategies, and players like this, they're good for the game, man. They're really good for the game. Is this guy ever going to win a tournament? Probably not. I hope he takes it as a challenge and tries to prove me wrong, but can he get top couple hundred? Has he had a massive elo spike due to this strategy? Is it higher than he ever did with the Sicilians? Yeah. We'll talk more about that. Now, here comes Blue. We're going to slow it down now. My apologies. Blue is looking to delay here. Now, you'll notice it's like, this is not man-at-arms, per se, in the normal capacity, because the militia came out really early. So it's the 3 militia and the scout. This almost takes me back to, like, 2018, where players used to do this. Now, I have big trees on here, because I'm lazy and didn't put my small trees on, so it's kind of hard to see there, but obviously Red would have had the small trees, and it's going to get that wall down. And, Blue had pretty solid scouting, saw the stone mining, saw the berries, saw the lumber camp, doesn't see anything on gold. Well, Red doesn't even take gold yet. Anyways, villagers here, they are blocked off right now. The pathing seems to be weird. I think he probably told all those villagers to build that palisade wall. And anyways, Blue is here on the hill attacking the mining camp, which could be an issue. Red down 400 food. Remember, the Rhino got stolen. A Red Scout stays at home just like every other game. He never moves out. Never wants to lose his Scout. He is feudal age before his opponent. Blue Scout is weak from the Rhino lane. Militia are getting attacked by the Scout. Blue notices. Red notices. Villagers on stone, very crucial to this strategy. There is the market. The blacksmith could come up soon as well for red. I am very tempted. Like, I'm not sure I want to lose, like, 300 elo on my main Nick. And I'm going to be so busy with Titans League and other things that are soon to come and you'll hear about. I'm just working really hard right now on getting some things prepared for the future, guys. But I'm super tempted to have, like, a dedication to White Phosphoru account. And because I really want a greater understanding of this. I want to try this. I want to get a feel for it. Like the pudding thing too, I haven't really been able to get the best of feel for it. But I can tell you, red's up. Okay, 20 vills. Blue, man-at-arms in, attacking the mining camp like a madman. That's a lot of wood being invested into repairing that. Those villagers also now can't mine stone. So that's less stone for red. And behind this, we've got an archer on the way. Now, that scout is weak now for red, so red wouldn't be able to stop that. And blue's headed with double archery range right over there towards the stone. In the previous game, like, Greed wasn't really able to do as much with a follow-up. Greed did go for a tower, I suppose. Oh, that hurts for blue. Oh. Scout actually snipes the archer. That is actually a really clutch snipe. Obviously, blue's going to kill this now. So red has no clue where the enemy is. So, you know, red now just going to walk back and forth to the stone. This is the economy we're working with. This is just a crazy life. And needs enough stone for a castle. So, like, here's where I'd be stuck. So I would be thinking... I put a lot of thought into this because I've watched this. I think my thought is, where can I castle that I can take gold and also take wood? Red's got a very interesting solution to that. Right? Because maybe you'd castle here, right? Maybe that's what I would think. So let's see. So red makes it to the castle age, 14 minutes and 19 seconds. Blue's looking for damage. Again, it's like, where do you do damage? All the villagers are underneath the TC. Archers are coming out. Behind this, blue's got pretty solid eco. It's not too bad. Walls will come up eventually. Things are okay. But blue has the opponent completely surrounded. Doesn't see a damn thing. Like, I'd be thinking, castle's going up on my face right now. I gotta pay attention to look for it. Look at this. It's just stupid. I mean, in all the best of ways. So, still can't see it. Still must be so paranoid, so confused. Anyways, castle's going up there for red. He's like, what? Where are these villagers? Where is he hiding? Maybe he's like, I just won the game. Like, this is game over. This guy's such a noob. Now he sees all the vills, and then the archer dies. So, red sells some remaining food to make the first wagon. And this castle protects the wood line. I honestly could have maybe protected the wood line he had the lumber camp next to. And then red's going to go out to gold. So the wagon is actually the key to freeing up the gold. And that's something I didn't really think about. I thought, like, castle needs to protect both, I guess, for later. But, you know, if there's going to be more chunky boys, then I guess the chunky boys can kind of do the job. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. There's potential from blue. Blue's still looking around. Blue knows the castle's there. So blue should think, let's deny the golds. I see this gold. And now we're going to see this gold. Just a lonely wagon headed forward. A lonely, lonely wagon. And blue's trying to think how to account to this thing. Blue's making some spears now. It's an interesting choice. Like, I guess you don't want to make range units against this. Honestly, thinking about it, I think, like, scouts would actually still kind of be okay against the low numbers. Not sure about spears because I guess they're slower. You shouldn't do any bonus damage against them like you do against a knight or something, or like a scout, right? And blue doesn't kill the villager there. Unfortunate. Hasn't killed any eco from red, so that much is different than the previous game. But red, like in the previous game, Greed was like, I'm gonna make scouts, and then he just got all bent out of shape and decided to Vil War like crazy. There's the spear. Yeah, don't make spearmen against this. That does 1 damage a hit. Don't do it. Hey, sergeants! Feudal age sergeants. Let's go, baby. How are they? Actually, not horrible. Not great either. But they're not horrible. Anyways, it's pushing it back. That's the point. And blue has wisely said, I have to do I have to make a decision quickly here. I'm going to go Castle Age. And so the thing that the devs did with the... and this was not the most recent change where they affected the accuracy, but they had made it at one point where Siege does a really good job against these things. Siege does a ton of bonus damage. So, and I really felt like actually, you know, balance-wise, it was at a pretty good spot as that wagon just goes in and snipes the Vil. It's at a pretty good spot before the most previous patch where they increased the accuracy. Because, like, the Hussite wagons, they could kill mangonels, but they'd, like, miss their shots a lot. So it was very frequent. It was very common that the mangonels would kind of struggle. But the accuracy's there, and Red's just, like, happy to just roll right underneath the TC. Doesn't even care. Just wants some kills here. Meanwhile, Blue is showing up over here. Blue actually killed a villager and is going to lose all the archers. And now the number of wagons for Red is 10. That is a very large number of wagons off of 20 villagers. Wagon sits underneath the dungeon here. Again, taking very little damage from arrow fire. The players don't expect one to be so bold, so... You know, initially you just sit there, kind of think he'll go away, and then he doesn't. This wagon rolled in, got some kills. I actually didn't get any kills and is rolled out. Red continues to roll in here. We do have sergeants being created from Blue. They will have the Castle Age stats here in just a moment. This wagon just luring these units away. Those are the two sergeants that were on the field before. So yeah, now you're going to get the sergeants, but it's like these units do 11 damage. They're ranged. It feels like it's actually pretty good against the sergeants. And you probably reached a point where you're like, okay, T90 is stupid. He's going to do the same thing as the last guy. Why are you showing me this? Well, he's going to go siege, right? He's going to go siege. Big thing. It's like the best thing against this, supposedly, right? Because they're now better against knights than they were. They've always been good against archers. And monks, of course, you got to get redemption and all that stuff. So yeah, it should be siege. So, you know, lots of these wagons that could be coming forward. Red actually forgetting a wagon at home. And, you know, just happy to sit underneath the TC because it feels like nothing kills these things. Now, the Red see this. Important moment in this game. Blue's got a 15 eco lead. You clear this up, you stabilize, you win, guys. That's how this should play out. Siege Workshop. Now, you'd think if that's the thing that could really, really stop you, that you run away from this, right? Red's like, nope, actually, we surround it. Because here he can't take gold. Here he used to take wood. He's not taking wood. We surround it. And then when he pops out, our wagons are going to immediately fire on that thing. Now, Blue selling some stone, using the market. Blue also is coming over here to attack. Red reacts. There's also villagers here that need a job. But Blue is going to wait for a mangonel. So you've got, like, weak wagon, weak wagon, weak wagon, weak wagon. They're not grouped up, which is really smart from Red, though, right? They're all in separate spots, because if you stack them, then they're going to take a lot of that damage together. And there's the first mangonel. So this is the counter, right? This is what you've got to add. Blue adds it. Blue repairs. Blue desperate. Blue doing a good job here. Blue doing a really good job. There's two mangonels. And the repairs are coming in. Now, awkwardly, Blue actually runs out of wood and runs out of gold to repair much longer. And awkwardly, there's still wagons here to deal with, but Blue's now on two mangonels. So, well played from Blue. Kind of had you going there, didn't I? You thought that was just going to end the game right there. It wasn't going to work. No, it's actually pretty good still. Not bad. Now, this is an issue, like, I mean, the resources are so tough for Blue. You've just taken such extreme losses against this push. But Blue's done a pretty good job. 33 population versus 28. And now White Phosphoru has to think about a different plan. Well, actually, no. But since Bohemians get the mining upgrades for free, I actually think it'd be a very good switch here to just go into Redemption Monks. But that would obviously mean wood into something other than these wagons. So Blue's like going forward. Blue's like, I can't be stopped with these things. Well, there's more of them. And now this could be a little bit of an issue for either player, depending on how you look at it. Blue's villagers are back on wood. Blue's still creating villagers. Blue's mangonel's waiting on the hill. Red sees this. Red runs into the darkness. Decent damage done. Okay. Decent micro here from Red. There we go. We're going to have a wagon or two go down. Here, all the other wagons converge on the mangonel, though. And from full distance, they have great accuracy now, and red kills the mangonels. Poor blue. Poor blue. And that was my concern in the Viper Classic Pro series I casted in TTL. That was my main point, was before the, like, they wanted to make this unit a unit that was useful in different scenarios, right? And used in a different way. But when increasing accuracy, they have made it really strong. And only stronger at pretty much what people were able to use it for in the past. Here we have the wagons going against the mangonels. And more repairs coming in here from blue. And blue has done such a good job. Repair, 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 repair. Mangonel goes down. And here we have some knights. More wagons on the way. And more villagers exposed. Now, to quote Red, Red said, the counters don't really counter it. That's interesting. Just interesting. I'm still chewing on it personally. I'm still really excited to see people like try and figure out something against this. I do feel like just a fast castle into siege, like immediate siege, is something that could work. Or maybe something arguably better, which I'm going to show you in the next game, which is actually the best game out of all of them. Maybe just go for your own castle. Okay, so I'm going to speed up a little bit here because poor blue has reached the point where a mangonel cannot be afforded easily. And it feels like all the games end like this, where the opponent just kind of stares at the screen and is just like, how am I losing to this? Are you kidding me? Is this actually happening? You know, the mangonel's on the way out of this siege workshop. Tons of villagers have died. And, you know, like we said before, lots of damage, decent enough damage. Blue runs out of resources, and the wagons are just still alive. And blue's out of there. The timings of it is insane. It puts you under lots of pressure. It is a strong unit. But what if someone went for arguably a stronger unique unit, a civilization that might even be better at going for castle units? All right, friends, so here we are. Now, again, a situation where I am certain that whoever this opponent is, I don't actually know who this player is. Sorry, player. I'm certain this player knew something was up, right? Now, I don't know if blue necessarily thought this is going to be the Bohemian strat. I'm guessing that blue thought it was going to be the Sicilian strategy. But again, I don't have all the facts here. But, like, no one's just loading into Arabia, having Spanish ready, and going for what blue is going to go for here unless you know your opponent. Just no one does it. And actually, Spanish was the civilization I thought of against you pudding when I thought you pudding was going for the Sicilian thing. Turns out it was the Scorpion Rush. The castle is actually one of the worst plays against that because the castle got denied. It was really embarrassing. You guys probably already know this. Okay. So, like, they're just mind games. And that's actually what gets me so excited about this. It's like, I know that on some level, like, oh, so-and-so knowing who they're going to play on the dashboard, which shows all these stats for 2K plus players. I know that's, like, kind of a killjoy for some of you guys. You're probably like, well, that's not cool that, like, they know what their opponent, who their opponent is on ranked. I actually think that adds so much more value to this. And the reason that White Phosphoru had gone for this strategy in the first place is because people started to figure out the other strategy. So it's like you bait your opponent into thinking this one thing's the counter, and then you go for something else. So, yeah, it's just fun. This is really fun stuff. And I think we know what's happening here, so let's just speed up a little bit, all right? So, blue is the Spanish, and then red is the Bohemians. The unique unit for the Bohemians, the Hussite wagon. The unique unit for the Spanish, the Conquistador. One of the best unique units this game has ever seen. Has seen nerfs in the past. And is still incredibly strong. High attack, high HP, lots of mobility. And it's just iconic. Let's be honest. I don't know how iconic a Hussite wagon is. I actually did learn a little bit about the Hussite wagon. There's apparently, like, I guess if it's being historically accurate, there's a bunch of people inside of the wagon firing the bullets. And I believe historically it was very good against knights. Historians correct me if I'm wrong. But it's a very interesting unit for the devs to add to the game. And I think that's why they kind of wanted it to be a bit better against targets with their accuracy. And, you know, at the end of this, I'm going to propose what I think should probably, like, if this is a balance issue, and personally, I think it is maybe borderline. Like, red is certainly stretching the limits, and red seems to think there's no counter. You know, like, in the event that there were to be a change, I think maybe just taking off, like, some HP in Castle Age would maybe be the way to do it. But, you know, the other thing that's tricky with the Bohemians is getting the Feudal Age mining upgrades and the Castle Age mining upgrades for free. It really does lead to a lot of market usage because you get a lot of gold and stone fast and a lot of all in place. And you see monks a lot more from Bohemians because of that too. Okay, now if I go fast castle, I'm going up 24, 25 pop if I'm dropping the castle. Pretty much what blue is doing. Blue's done an interesting build here, has tons on stone. Red does the same thing that happened before. Scout always stays at home. We have the market, we have the blacksmith. Everything is a science. We've got the 5 on stone, 3 on wood, 4 on berries. The rest of the villagers under here. 1 villager on the blacksmith, 1 villager on the market. And then there will be some selling at the market of the stone. You sell some stone, you sell some wood, you click up. It's like the same thing. This is a build order that is tested and perfected to get to this point. So this is where it gets fun. Because red sees his opponent has been on stone. And red sees the market. So red knows my opponent's going to go fast castle. This is really fun. Now red scout is a bit weaker. And blue's going to click up to Castle Age. Unfortunate for blue. We're going to slow the game down now. Needs 3 gold to get the gold to go Castle Age. So actually has to sell something now to get 100 gold. Yeah. No, well, I guess not 100 in this case, but sold 100 resources to essentially just get 3. All right, there goes blue. But I'm telling you, blue knows this player, man. Blue knows this player, and blue is just sick of it. Sick of the abuse. And red scout is dead. Red scout just died. So, like, red scout, where did it die? We have to remember it. Oh, there you go. I don't know why I made that noise. Anyways, blue is going forward now to make red pay. Now, I would not be too pleased if I were blue and I saw my opponent was in Castle Age faster. That would scare me. But blue still just trudges on, okay? And blue is going to see the berries, the wood, the stone, and blue's like, where's that castle going up? Oh, crap. Oh, man. So red doesn't have any clue that blue is waltzing around over here, which is just so funny to me. Blue saw that foundation and ran away at the perfect time. Now, it's kind of silly about this is red always goes forward, and red has no reason to look over here. So this is actually the safest spot for blue to ever take gold. Look at these golds. These golds are brutal. So, yeah, anyways, there goes the wagon. And blue isn't in Castle Age yet, but blue's about to be in Castle Age, and blue's like, I got to do the most damage with this castle. And blue is going to drop a castle here, because this castle can deny some of the gold and also range the TC. It's a perfect castle. It's also not quite where red can see it. So you could tell red's like, oh, wait a second, what? And this kind of, like, this is a player who always has a plan. And you could tell red's like, oh, crap. Now, red did react right away, is bringing over some of the food trucks, is fighting with the vills as well. But is going to have to leave because the castle's going to go up. So anyways, castle goes up. Villagers are able to get away. Nice micro there from red. And now red is over at blue's base. And now blue's going to make conquistadors. And blue's also going to make siege, which, as we showed in the previous game, still pretty good against the Hussite wagon. But I think there's been a slight miscalculation here for blue, because the beauty of the Hussite wagon is the Hussite wagon just costs wood and gold. And it's super easy to just plop a bunch of villagers on the wood and gold. Conquistadors cost food. So these conquistadors, they're strong, but they're harder to afford. And conquistador 55 HP, Hussite wagon 180 HP. So in all-in scenarios, guys, the best types of units are the units that don't cost food. Because food takes farms, food takes time. Unless, of course, it's sergeants, and then you just buy the food. I don't know. I guess it depends. Anyways, so, you know, blue trying to find some damage in here with these conquistadors. Blue has 2 conquistadors. Red's already on 6 wagons. And look at how much damage the conquistadors take. And I think the conks are doing 10 damage a hit to the Hussite wagon, which means you need 18 conquistador hits to kill 1 wagon. And to be honest, blue's a beast. Blue is well on his way. These villagers are chopping trees. These villagers are well on their way to going down. This is actually horrible for blue's economy. But yeah, you know, it's a thing. KD right now is 6-1 for red. I guess red killed another villager over here. And blue is buying food right now, trying to mass more conquistadors, and has added a ram. Now, blue is going to ram the TC of a player who never makes more villagers. So, I think we know, like, we'll keep it between us. I think we know that's actually one of the worst things you could try and do here. Red doesn't care. Red hasn't produced a villager out of this until red, you know, since red made it to Castle Age. Anyways, wagons have fully surrounded the TC. Come out, wherever you are, and the conquistadors now come home. Now, if you get enough conks, and combined with a little bit of TC fire, maybe some crazy things could happen there. So, there's a Hussite wagon down. Here's some more micro. Blue's micro is really good. It's easier to micro the conks as well, I imagine. I think the accuracy might be slightly better for Conquistador as well. I don't know, I have the accuracy stats, but I have the stat that matters, and it's 13 wagons versus 4. And, you know, Hussite wagon's gonna go, you know, get some kills here, potentially, on somebody at some point. Red, it doesn't even matter if red's not paying attention here, because, let's face it, there's just too much HP. There's too much chunk. There's 14 wagons, right? 14 wagons on the field. And that is 2,000 HP, with a lot of them being weak. And blue's going to run forward. Blue has had the same vill count as red, just unfortunately hasn't been able to have them working as much. And, you know, red's just been chilling, taking the gold here anyways. Castle didn't actually fully deny it, which is the biggest problem for blue in this game, was simply the fact that Castle did not fully deny the gold. Looked like it would originally. Red was really smart to just sit there anyways. And blue is just still... I mean, you've got nothing else to look at. Blue is still in micro conquistador mode. And those conquistadors are in different areas of the map. But it's just a mess. So, yeah, like... I just think it's really wild that this spawned from White Phosphoru wanting to adapt from people figuring out the counter to the sergeants, which a lot of people have been going fast castle monks and siege, apparently. You know, something I'd still like to make a lot more videos on and show you guys. And White Phosphoru is like, you just do not have the time to make any proper counter. Now, I still think there's a world. These guys are about to insult, like, 99.9% of people who have ever played this game. But these guys are only 2K, right? So I think there's a world, if you're talking top, like, 150, 200 in the world. So, like, 2K1, 2K2, there's a little bit of wiggle room and things to figure out. But, I mean, Greed, the guy we showed the first game as 2K2. 2200. So I mean, he's been in the top 100 conversation in the past, and if he stops running into all-in builds like you putting in White Phosphoru, I'm sure he will maybe return there soon. It's just kind of a wild strat. And again, I think like maybe, you know, it just uses all the bonuses. The cheaper blacksmith is super helpful for this. The mining upgrade, super helpful for this. The wagon, also extremely helpful for this. And here we go, conks going to town. And oh my god, that shot killed 2 conquistadors. But I mean, red has now located blue's golds, and the Hussite wagons here Just denying enough gold income here for blue, who, I mean, is at 17 villagers. But unfortunately, the wagons are too good against siege. If you follow the, the balance changes and whatnot, and obviously we're discussing that quite a bit, they pretty much made it so organ guns do not do any damage or much damage at all against mangonels. Could see the Hussite wagons probably getting that treatment. But it's just a tricky thing, because then it's like, will anyone ever make them then, when the civs got really good monks, infantry, and eco? Just tricky. Players are always going to find a way to get the most value from bonuses as quickly as possible. Wagons, the answer right now. White Phosphoru scouting all over the place. These things actually have pretty good vision, which I guess would make sense if there's a bunch of people in there. You never see the people. They're rocking back and forth in there. What? They're partying. Guys, turn down the tunes. There's an army coming. Anyways, I've kind of run out of things to talk about. Blue is running away with these villagers. Wagons chasing down the bills. Ram is going to... Nope, not take out the Hussite wagon. Blue, again, maybe thinking, like, this guy doesn't have a lot of eco. I killed a lot of eco. I know this player typically doesn't have a lot behind the attacks. Red's just like everywhere, and the GG's called, and that's it. Yeah, that's the strat. That's White Phosphoru, the guy who adapted the Sicilian build order. Then people started to figure it out, tried to go for different counters, and now White Phosphoru said counter this. And I think there's going to be more people doing this now. And I think people are then going to figure this out, find some type of answer, and then we might have another thing tried. It is a vicious cycle. I will keep you all updated. I do want to show you something, though. So here is White Phosphoru's profile, all right? So, this is all happened this evening. It's just insane, right? These are all recent. You can see this one here with the Spanish, victory. Here, the one I showed you, victory. Here, the one I showed you, victory. This is the one where Greed Man-at-Arm trushed him, killed him really fast. Well done, Greed. Victory. Against Carbo, former 2K2, 2K3 player. Victory. TRM, usually 2K2 player. Victory. TRM rematch. TRM going Mongols. Died to it once. Tried something different, I'm sure. Victory. Tried it again. A third time. Victory. This all just happened. This is insane. My boy Scotty, he's going to hate me if he sees this in a video. Scotty, coming back to the game, trying to get some games in, trying to figure out the meta. Victory, victory. Tons of victories. Ooh, Scotty beat him here. Interesting. Well done, Scotty. So, I want to show you this. So, when I made the video before with you pudding and whatnot, that was a couple weeks ago, right? So, he had hit 2K... kind of going down. He was all around. This is before. This was him back in the day, right? This is him back in the day. This is all the new stuff. So he hits 2K. That's great. Okay. That's great. He goes way down, 1800s. This is... I actually think, guys, this wave, he plays a lot of Age of Empires. I think this wave is actually when I made the video. Hold on. Oh my God. The post I'm referencing shows... Okay. 2 weeks ago... So, 1st of October, does it show the exact date here? YouTube. Oh, it was September 25th is when I uploaded the video with him. Okay, and then he dips down big time. And then he does rise back up. I'm curious on what strategy he did, though. And then he went back down big time. And now his highest rank, guys, 2K1. He'd never been over 2100 before. So when he was down to 1700 a week ago, and I guess has been trying this and has rose all the way up to 2K1. All Bohemians. 2 days ago, Bohemians. Look at all these wins. Bohemians, Bohemians, Bohemians. Let's actually do the homework here. This has just been Bohemians, right? Wait a second. Malians? What was he doing there? This is the thing. This guy's a legend, okay? He does a lot of really cool things. I think it's really fun. If I had more games, I would obviously show you, but he clearly plays a lot. The strategy is wild, but the reason this guy's a legend, in my opinion, is because while he is kind of what people would call a one-trick and just does the same strat over and over and over again, he's able to switch it up. And he's found different things. And he's not just playing with the same Civ 10,000 times. So right now it's Bohemians. Maybe it'll be something else in the future. Hope you guys enjoyed this. And I hope you, even if you don't like facing up against these strategies, I hope you appreciate the uniqueness of it, you know, and the switching up the strats and like how everyone goes into the game trying to counter it. I really do think like this is something that in 2023 is slightly underappreciated. Like we get used to our random Civ games. We like our standard Arabia games from time to time, but really going in with a strat that you're never going to deviate from, seeing what people can do against it, that can be fun as well. So that's it from me. Give me your thoughts, please. Hope you enjoyed this one, and obviously look forward to more content in the future.